church, yeah, we talk about it. How to make money, yeah, we talk about it. Facebook, yeah, yeah. IG, Twitter, yeah, so.
Get in here, get in here, get in here. Listen, tonight I got an awesome show for you tonight. Y'all always know I wait for that thing over there to tell me that my sound is nice, to make sure that I'm transmitting and you guys can hear me. So that's what we want to make sure that you guys can hear me clear tonight. So again, this is Kenya. I'm coming to you live from the studio. Hold on a second, because I don't see that. Let me check my sound, because it's not giving me sound bites. Sure that you guys all right. Can hear me. So we got sound tonight, y'all. Again, this is Kenya. All right, so I want to make sure that my sound is nice and that you guys are hearing me. Listen, I have a great woman that started a movement. I met her some time ago. She started a movement. She started the millionaire movement. I had never heard about it. I've never thought about it. I never thought about being a millionaire. I thought I was going to be a thousandaire and I was just going to be able to eat good chicken and biscuits and be good, until I ran across this young lady that started a whole movement, the millionaire movement. So listen, y'all stay tuned for a great show tonight with her. She got some twists and turns and things that I've seen. And I want y'all to hang out with me so she can tell y'all what she got going on. She's a radio personality. She does live on the scene interviews as well. She does exactly what I do. But let me tell you what happens is, when you are sisters and you are part of a millionaire club, you can interview the same person, do the same thing you do, and don't be worried, because guess what she always say? She wanted to see me at the top because it's too crowded on the bottom. So I learned that from her, and we're going to have a good time tonight, like I stated. So, but we first want to give a shout out to all our proud sponsors. Listen, want to give a shout out to our proud sponsors. Euphoric Felicity is one of our proud sponsors, and as you know, we always rocking her attire. No, I'm not rocking Euphoric Felicity tonight, but that's all right. She's still my proud sponsor. Want to give a shout out to Euphoric Felicity on the gems, jewelry, clothing, purses, accessories. Euphoric Felicity, you get at them. It's Nicole Wheeler. As well as we want to send a shout out to A Natural Seal. Y'all know she sell all natural products. All natural products. A Natural Seal, she's one of our proud sponsors, as well as Gillian & Co. So listen, I'm going to let y'all know something. Gillian & Co., she does not only do taxes. She does taxes. She does natural products. Then she gonna sell your house. Y'all got that right? She gonna fix your tax. She gonna fix your credit. She gonna file your taxes. She gonna wait first. She gonna sell you a house because she's a realtor. Then she gonna sell you some candles and trinkets for your house. So listen, y'all get at all my sponsors. They are a beast in the business. Listen, as you come in, whether you watch it on the replay or you watching it live, you guys come on in and do me a favor, like and share, because that helps the basically video go a little bit further in engagement. So you guys like and share. So listen, I had 1,001 questions, right? And I just want to do this before I bring my guests on. Why did I cut my hair? And I just told my guests because I'm lazy. This is the truth. Just because I'm lazy. I don't like combing my hair. I like to put it in a ponytail. So I said, you know what? It's raining, as you can hear me sniffing. It's raining, and I'm doing this 100-day challenge thing. So I just chopped it off. To God be the glory. So now I have a short haircut, and hey, we rocking it. So everybody who's asking, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it? I've been wanting to do it, but every time I got ready to see somebody do it, I saw somebody cut their hair. I'm like, man, if I cut my hair now, they're gonna think that I'm trying to copy them. Then I was like last week, I was like, I don't care. Chop it off. And then my barber's like, no, Kenya. I'm like, chop it off. Here's these $20. Go ahead and chop it off. So we wanted to send a shout out to Nolan and above them cuts that just went ahead and did what he had to do. So we appreciate him. Without further ado, we're going to bring our guest on because, listen, we want to hear everything she got to say and we don't want to rush her. So without further ado, hold on. Let me get this together. Miss Millionaire from the Millionaire Show. Miss Milli!
Yo!
Listen, that is Miss Millionaire from the Miss Millionaire Show. She started a whole movement. How you doing tonight? You
I'm
there?
good. I'm good. Can you hear me good? Good.
I hear you well. I hear you well. So listen, we want to welcome you to the platform. Again, we both have the same type of business. We both believe in providing exposure for small businesses, organizations, and making sure everybody's there. You go on location, you do your thing. So listen, tell us, how did you come up with this? I know how I came up with it. What made you want to get into the multimedia group of providing exposure to guests and making sure they provide exposure?
Before I answer that question, I must say thank you, Miss Kenya, the CEO. Thank you so much for inviting me on to your show to get interviewed. And I got to shout out Marvin with the Nib Ram collection. I love his line of clothes, and I just wanted to say shout out to the Nib Ram collection. I spoke with him maybe about, I don't know, maybe 2 months ago about interviewing him. So his schedule was a little crazy, but I love that collection. Inviting me on. I've been looking forward to it. And um, is, well, two things, rocking the shortcuts, but we have the same kind of mindset. Definitely have the same mindset when it comes to entrepreneurship, especially being your own boss. We have quite a few things in common, with the media, radio, interviewing people, that passion for just being a part of the media. We have quite a few bit in common. So I think the most important thing, though, like I said, is having that mindset. You have an entrepreneurial mindset. You have a millionaire mindset, and so do I. And as far as the media, let me answer your question of what got me into media. I actually always for it. I'm actually from Miami-Dade County, so I was born here in Palm Beach County at St. Mary's Hospital, but I was raised in Miami-Dade County, way down south, like Perrine, South Miami Heights, Cutler Ridge area, Goose, all up in there. I'm from the Cutler Ridge area, so I graduated in Miami-Dade County. It's I know I have a lot of family here. Like I said, I was born here. I have a lot of family. But to answer your question and how I got into radio, I played basketball. Oh man, like in Dade County, I made the all county team, all that kind of stuff. But I ended up getting a high school, a college scholarship to Oklahoma City University, a basketball scholarship. I didn't graduate. I didn't get my degree at that time, but I always had a passion for communication. My major when I love to write. I love anything that's regarding communication. So the passion was always there, always there. I love anything that has to do with equipment, with media, photography, videography. I don't know a lot of that stuff, but just being around the mics and the lights and lights, camera, action. I love that kind of stuff. So the passion was always there. It's just that the former mayor of Riviera Beach, Thomas Masters, allowed me the opportunity back in 2008 to co-host his show, The Talk of the Town, with him in Fort Pierce at that station that I was on. So that's really how, I got that one shot, that one opportunity that I was allowed, and I turned it into my own. So that's how I really got onto the radio. I never went to broadcasting school, any of that stuff. I, self-made, just self-made. God gives me the vision, and I turn it into my own.
Amen, amen. That's something about a vision. I always tell people that if you write the vision, he'll carry it out for you. And I want to send a shout out. Listen, I'm always calling him Mayor Thomas Masters because that's all I've known all my life. And he's still doing works in the community. I think that his mind telling him he knows he's not the mayor, but he's still the mayor. He's still the mayor.
He
He's still
changed. It's still on his Facebook page. He's not changing it at all.
he's still the mayor, and we have to respect him as such. So listen, I love your show. I see your location. I'm so excited because when I see you, you have your setup, you have your two backdrops, and I'm like, you better do it, girl. I'm still at this present moment. God has blessed me to be in the studio, so it's a little different here with the white walls and everything. We still working on pictures and how to set it up. And God has blessed me to do this. But I love the fact that you're out engaging with the audience. I just seen you on a interview with Big D, and I saw you throughout the pandemic. I mean, you didn't stop. You
Nice.
didn't stop. You was like, I'm gonna put this mask on. We're gonna go out here and do this. Going into funeral homes and everything. I mean, what is it? What is the drive behind that passion? I mean, did with me, I get slowed down by sometimes it's hard to book. People act like they don't want exposure. Is that something that you kind of feel short
Oh
on, or is it
no, I never have that problem. It's like if when the number and people were more cautious about going out. If they gave me the consent to do it in person, I always asked. If I got the consent, they were good with it. I did it. I just allowed a little space for social distancing, and I went with it. I never got someone during the pandemic that really wanted to be virtual. I think maybe one person, but most people, um, because radio. I'm going to tell you what I know happened. FM radio changed me into a brand. And when people hear that, the radio personality side and this and that, they want to be a part of that. So that makes it easier for me, and when I ask, can I bring my show to you, it makes a difference too. Than them having to travel. I like my show is about my guests. I always make it about them. So can I come to you? I'll make it more convenient for you. I'll bring my set to you. So who's not gonna say it? They don't have to go anywhere. I'm bringing the equipment. All I need is you to sit in this chair and let's talk. So I think that's what makes it easier because of that. I take the Miss Millionaire show to them where they don't have to drive to the station or it just eliminates a lot of things and they have a busy schedule and I accommodate them as much as I can. So I think that's what works most of the time because I take it to them.
right? See, the thing is, you had that distance. Kenya had a van, so I turned my van into a studio. So when the pandemic hit, it was like I don't know if I want to do this space thing. And then with so many people getting sick, and it don't take much because I have asthma, so I was like, you know what can we do? And it's the crazier part of it is that right before last year, the year before the pandemic in July, a friend of mine had a birthday, and I had this software, this Stream Yard software when it first came out, and I was scared to use it. I was like, you know what? I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable. Before all the bells and whistles that they have now, and I said, let's do a virtual birthday party for you. She was like, that's stupid. Why would we do that? I was like, yeah, I'm gonna call you from the house, and you log on, and we're gonna have all our friends have a birthday. So that was July of 2019 we
Wow.
were doing that. And then come to find out the next year, we had to do it that way because that was the way of the world that was being moved. And it's like, everybody was doing the virtual parties and the Zoom birthdays and the parties that way. And I said, but you laughed at me last year in July when I said, come on, let's do your birthday this way. You laughed at me, and everybody laughed at me when I said, let's have the birthday party. I said, mind you, we were going to meet up and have dinner, but they laughed about it. They thought it was stupid. It was like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing this. But they came on and they said, happy birthday. Who would have thought that 6 months later, that we were be in a situation of, radio changing, video changing, everything changing, especially for us. But in your case, people were like, and I did see you all during the pandemic, spaced out. You sat in your chair, they sat in your chair. You had your Mebo system, you know, you, because back when I had the Mebo, you was like, I got the Mebo. I said, girl, we got the Mebo together, girl.
I just
So
that too, right? You still have
yeah, right. But I'm now working on the three camera system. God
right.
willing, I'll have the three camera system. So it's like it didn't slow down for you. The momentum didn't slow down for you, and I thank God for that. And I'm a churchy little girl, and I thank God for that. But during that period of time, during the pandemic, everybody had a time to sit down and they watched, and they could watch everything because everything was virtual. So I just want to get into you went virtual one day and you posted a post about I'm going to show you guys the way Miss Million moves. You introduced the truck, you did all this stuff, but then you shocked the world when you hit that post. So tell me about that.
Oh man, oh my goodness. I love talking about this because one thing this $1 million journey has done for me is uh, it made me lose all of my pride. And I'm talking about, for one, if anybody is challenging themselves to become a documented millionaire, it is so not about the money. Oh my gosh. It is so spiritual. I cannot you can relate. You get it. I know you get it. It has nothing to do with money. It has everything to do with being obedient to God. And when you're obedient to God about the vision that He's placed in your heart, in your mind, in your soul, that's when everything else, the monetary part, is automatic because you prove to Him, you've let Him know, I totally trust you. You're not going to understand it. You're not going to agree with it, what He calls you to do. And you're just not going to get it. But you're going to know that it's coming from Him. And you have to move regardless of whether you understand it or not, because He's looking at you and saying, because it's going to be something down the line that He's going to need you to be really strong for. That's a part of the vision. So He has to mold you and develop you through some painful times. And that's what this is about with what I chose to do. I want to stress that very much. I chose to do this. So what Kenya is asking me about is I went I was transparent. Ooh, it was back in last year. I forgot what month that I became transparent in. However, I made a decision to leave my apartment and become a homeless entrepreneur. And when I say that, a homeless entrepreneur, it just doesn't make sense to a lot of people because entrepreneurs are business owners. So how in the heck can a business owner be homeless? You'd be surprised. It's a whole lot of that going on. I'm quite sure you might know some people, you might know somebody, you've seen stories or something on TV. It's out there. But I had to do something, and I left my apartment in February of 2019. And oh my gosh, I had to tear myself totally down, totally down. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna, because financially it just wasn't happening. And it's like I had to do something because I made so many poor decisions with my money over the years. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna tear myself totally down and put my things in storage. My truck was paid for. Tvis had just wrapped my truck. So when I did it, I'm like, you know what? My truck is paid for. This guy just wrapped my truck. So here I am. I'm getting ready to sleep in that Miss Millionaire truck with me all over the truck. And really a job laid me off. That's really what led me to that. A part-time job I was doing. And I'm so sick of corporate America, man. That's like a whole nother show. The biggest joke that they ever teach us in school is to work for other people. So I got so sick of the corporate America treatment, and I'm like, you know what? The only way that I'm gonna make this happen is to let God know that I totally trust Him. So when that idea came to my head, I knew it was nobody but God. I'm like, bro, because I talked to Him like this. I'll be like, bro, really? I really have to do this. Are you serious? I put so much work in. When is this going to happen? Oh my goodness. So I'm like, oh man, I thought about it. So I don't have any kids. So my struggle is my struggle. I'm not taking any kids to anything. I wasn't in a relationship at the time. And it's like I made that decision to be homeless. But before I did it, I researched homeless celebrities. And I'm like, you know what? Let me Google homeless celebrities and see what comes up. Man, when you Google that, all kind of names come up. We're familiar with the Steve Harveys and the Tyler Perry, but man, I saw Jennifer Lopez. I saw Halle Berry. I saw Jim Carrey. It was black, white, Spanish. So many people that sacrificed for their dream. You know, Jennifer Lopez was sleeping on people's sofa before she made it to In Living Color to be a dancer. And I look at all these people that were homeless. Tyler Perry slept in his, Steve Harvey slept in his car for 3 years, a Ford Taurus, for 3 years before he got that call from the Apollo. And I'm like, man, look at these people's net worth today. All of them are either millionaires or billionaires because they sacrificed for their dream. So after I read that, it motivated me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to throw my stuff in storage. Again, this was February 28, 2019. It's going on 3 years. And the first night I did it, I slept in my newly wrapped truck by OG Wraps. My newly wrapped truck. Miss Milli sleeping. Nobody knew what was going on. Kenya, when I tell you I didn't skip a beat, I still did my show. I still did meetings. I responded to emails. I still did phone calls. Listen, all I had after I put my bedroom set and everything in storage, I had my truck, my phone, my iPad, and my laptop. As an entrepreneur, you know that's all you need to run your business. I don't care where you at. That's all you need. So I did that, man, and oh my gosh, it's been rough. But I look at it like this. I had to make myself totally uncomfortable so I can become comfortable. I've never been debt free. Being a millionaire is nothing new. People are becoming billionaires today. Being a millionaire is nothing new, but it's something I've never had. I've never been debt free. I never did the right thing with my money. You know, you hear me say a lot, respect your money or your money won't respect you. If you're not doing your money right, your money's not going to do you right. So now that I know better, boy, has this built up major self-discipline with me. OMG. I can't shop the way I want to. I can't travel the way I want to. I can't do those things because my dream is bigger than that stuff right now. So I have to be still. And when I tell you my life has been blessed tremendously because I remained obedient and I did that to sleep in my truck. Oh my gosh, I had never done that before. The first night I slept in my truck, it was hot because it was South Florida. February in South Florida is still hot. So it was hot. Middle of the night, I had to go to the bathroom. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that part. So I had to pee. So I had to get up, drive to the nearest local gas station, and I had to go use the restroom, go park back where I was. Oh man, it's been a journey. I'm not sleeping in my truck anymore, but I've just had so much support behind the scenes with people that knew. As far as taking a shower, getting fresh every day. I've always had the key to my sister's home, and I go there every day. Every day I can shower. I can go there and do whatever I need to do. So it's not like the average homeless person that really is homeless out there sleeping on the streets in the middle of the intersection asking for change or anything like that, in the dumpsters eating garbage. I'm heavily connected. So, you know, I got sponsors. Paige Hells from Healthy Creation sponsors my salads. I got sponsorship with stuff right now that's just absolutely amazing. And again, it was a choice. It was a choice. I could easily go. I got 30 years experience in the medical field, you know, in medical records, release of information. I'm HIPAA certified. I know all that stuff. I can make good money. I've mastered getting a job. I've mastered that. I don't have to fill the app out. I know enough people to make a phone call, say, hey, I need a job. I'll have the job before I do the application. I've mastered the job part. I need to master being a business owner now, like I did with corporate America. So the homeless entrepreneur thing. I've become the biggest advocate for homeless entrepreneurs. And what homeless entrepreneurs, my definition of it is those of us that we desire to be our own boss, but we don't have the support that's necessary from maybe family. I have a handful of family members that's like, oh my gosh, for years they've been behind me with this. Um, nobody's obligated to support you, and I want people to understand that. Don't get mad about people not supporting you. Nobody's obligated to do that. So with my family, there's plenty of my family members that see what I do on Facebook. I don't take offense because they don't come to things that I do, because I know when we get together as a family, we love as a family. And now in the beginning, I didn't get that part, but I've grown a lot spiritually, so I don't take offense to it anymore. But as far as the homeless entrepreneur thing, it's people. All we want to do is help people. I don't care what your product is, what your service is. Being a business owner is about helping people do something. Like you and I have platforms to help people be heard. We have help. We can help people advertise what they do. We can help people tell their story. So it's all about. All we want to do is be successful, but a lot of times we don't have not so much the money. It's not so much the money. I want to say we didn't have the plan. Our parents didn't put a plan in place for us when we were younger, when we were born. So therefore, when we get to that point where, we get called to do this, we don't have the education or the monetary part to make it happen. So right now, I'm just biting the bullet with a lot of stuff, man. Like now, I'm in my pastor's office at the church, and it's like, oh my gosh, you're talking about somebody that supports me big time. My pastor, Reverend Lee Sapp, is my spiritual mom, and when I tell you, boy, the biggest backbone, one of the biggest I've had, you know, spiritually, man, she's been there. And that's the part that helps me get through this. I eat fine. Like I said, I shower with my sisters every day. It's the same routine. I work out. I didn't skip a beat when I first started this. I always went to the gym at 5 a.m. I was sleeping in my truck. I would get my things from storage the day before. I used to go to UFit. UFit opens at 5 a.m. I was there at 4:30 in the parking lot. I would wake up, man, and I showered at UFit, after I did my workout. So it's a mindset, because everybody ain't built for this, man. Some people will be like, man, forget this. I'm gonna get me a job, man. Get back into the struggling to pay a bill. When you're working to pay a bill, nobody's not going to tell me God wants us to live for that. If that's all you're working for is to pay a bill and your check is gone before you even get it, you got to regroup and get some things. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about what you're doing. So it's all about mindset, man. This homeless entrepreneur, I'm the biggest advocate for that now, because I know it's other people out here living like me, especially after this pandemic.
Wow. So listen, you touched on so many things that kind of just hit me like a ton of bricks. Even with the support, I had to come to realization that no one's obligated to support you.
Right.
No one's obligated to support you. We feel that because we're doing this, that people are supposed to support us. Our dreams and ambitions is only what we set this up. So a lot of things that you said tonight, trust me, I'm about to watch this in the replay, because you threw me off with a lot of things that woke me up to some things. And it's true. We wake up every day to just go pay bills, and before the check is gone, before the auto pay have taken the money before it even hit the bank. And if it hit the bank slow enough, we'll have an overdraft because it's all gone. So we're working hard, and I get it. Before it even hit the bank, auto draft done got it, and it's gone. And that's the craziest thing. But again, I commend you on doing that. I commend you on everything you're doing and being so transparent, because a lot of people wouldn't just come up and say, hey, I'm homeless. I myself is in the storage. I go to the storage every day. I sleep out my truck. and you make things happen, and you're still doing interviews, and you're still going to eat salads, and you're still going over to the gym with Marvin and working out. I mean, it's so many things that you're continually to doing,
Yeah.
and no one would ever know from the outside looking in. It looks like you have everything all together. You would think that Miss Millionaire living in a big house. So when it did happen, I was like, and like you said, it's by choice. You didn't just jump up and say no one evicted you, and you decide you. It's by choice that you want to do this. And again, the amount of people that's doing it, trust me, I'm looking like, let me look this up when it's over because it's crazy, but it's true. It's crazy, but it's true. And
Yeah.
we wanted to send a shout out to your pastor. I follow her. She's an inspiration to me. I follow her on Facebook, and that is good that you do have a spiritual person in your corner that can have you with that relationship with God. And like you said, you talk to him just like that, man. What's going on? You told me to write the vision. You told me to make it plain, and that you're going to fix it that way. So what's going on? Why is it taking so long? But I had to learn too that let's look at that Tabitha Brown. And when she said for 15 years she worked at this thing, and her husband said, "I'm gonna support you," and she started, but it didn't catch on to 15 years later, and now she at that bracket. And I always tell people, listen, I don't worked all my life. I done seen $1 million. I just ain't do it right. I didn't save my money. I didn't do like you said. I done made $1 million. If you add up all the money you done made, look at your taxes. You done seen a
Oh, we
million
made.
dollars but we just didn't do what we need to do. And that's the truth about it, that we didn't do what we need to do with our money. We didn't spend it right. We didn't have understanding. We balled out of control. And now I'm in my 40s like, okay, listen, I just ain't going to pay this kind of money for this. I just ain't going to do this no more. I'm going to understand that I can have peanut butter and jelly sandwich and don't have the $10 lunch a day that's going to equivalent to this amount of money. And I get it. So, I commend you. I am just I'm so happy for you. Again, from the outside looking in, they will never know that there was a problem going on. That they would never know. And I love the movement. I love the Miss Millionaire movement. And at one point, you was like you said, you was selling the shirts, and you was like Mr. Millionaire, Miss Millionaire. But tell me, who was your favorite interview that you've had thus far?
Oh, I've never been asked that question. That's a good question. I really don't like going for like celebrities and all that kind of stuff. I like when people develop. Oh man, you put me on the spot with that one, boy. I can't think of if I had to say um one of my favorite interviews. I got to think about it before we end. I'm gonna tell you, but I got to think because it was definitely in my. You know what? I think I know. I think my not I think I know my favorite interview was my very first interview on radio back in 2014, in May of 2014. My very first interview was with Zion's son. Um, in house, they came to the station, all of them, Josh, and different names back then. Church,
Yeah, Church
yeah,
Boy, Handy.
they came in the studio and it was a live interview. They were singing on there. That was my favorite one because that was the first all the way from the Glaze. So I was like, man, they did that just for the Miss Millionaire show. So that was my favorite. That was my very first interview. And to have them in house with me, live on the air, that was very heartfelt because they drove so far to do it. So that let me know how hungry it was. And Josh, I love to hear Josh sing. Those guys. I don't even have to go there
Yeah,
with
I
you.
used. Yeah, I've worked with them, so yeah.
So that was my
So let me ask another question. So that's radio. What was your most emotional one that you can say that you had to take the glasses off and get the napkins? What was your most emotional interview that you've ever conducted?
my most emotional one. I know that off the top of my head. Tayson Gaines, attorney Tayson Gaines. Um, the little girl, I'm quite sure you're familiar with the story with the Sean Johnson funeral home where the little girl died
Right.
and all of that. I interviewed him, was representing the families, and that was my most emotional one. That I took that personal, and I
Okay.
nothing against Sean. I knew Sean, but I'm the person. I'm gonna call it what you know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
You take it how you want to take it. We have a baby. They couldn't even do her funeral because they didn't have a body to do the funeral.
My
To me,
God.
that was my most emotional interview, and that I had the most views with that interview, and
Right.
I took that to heart because I have a passion for our youth and our young adults, our babies. That was a baby, and it's like for her mother to not be able to have a funeral because of the condition of her body, regardless of who was responsible for it, what's going on legally, and all that stuff, who wasn't taking accountability. Somebody did something wrong, but
Exactly.
fact was we had a decomposed body. I don't know what happened, and I get mad talking about it now because I love our babies, and that was a baby.
I
So
know.
that was my most emotional interview. Interviewing attorney Tayson Gaines. That
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're in person, and when you started the in person, and I know that we went from radio, and I know that was a transition. And I think I watched your departure one. If I'm not mistaken, you did an exit interview, like when you did the last one on the radio station, and you said you were like me. I got put off radio stations, and I used to keep it real. I used to be real, like keep it real, but in the gospel. So everybody was like, "Kenya, we can't do your show because we ain't got time to record your show and then have to edit your show." And I used to
Right.
get put off stage, and until someone said, I did. I mean, and that was because I wasn't. I had to learn. I had to learn because if your song suck, I used to be like, your music suck, your mixing suck, and I didn't have that filter back then. Back then I was just like, whatever came to my head, I said it. I was like, y'all music suck, and y'all arrogant, y'all coming up in here acting like it, and I would just say it. So many radio stations would say, Kenya, we got to pull your show. Until one day somebody said to me, hey, start your own radio station. I was like, really? Is that easy? So then I started my own radio station and I started my own video myself because you can't pull this. This mine. I pay for this. And you can't pull my radio station. This mine. So I watched your exit interview with your last radio station. You started doing the virtual, the in-house. What was your favorite one thus far since you started with your big picture? The big, the, you got a backdrop that's.
Yeah.
I be looking at you like this lady. How tall is this picture? And how can I get me one? I'm
Oh,
like,
you
how
know
tall is these pictures here?
that
These
that
pictures are huge.
I forgot the size, but Chinaman did that. He did that a couple. Chinaman on 45th Street did both of those banners, and that's not even what I ordered. But when they came in, I'm like, when I saw it, I'm like, dang, I love it. It was the wrong order, but I guess that's what I was supposed to get.
Yeah,
You
God
know,
was to bless you. Because I be looking at you, I be like, how tall is this banner? I can't even focus. I told you I got a problem. I can't even focus on the interview because I'm trying to figure out how tall is that banner. What that banner is huge. Jesus help me. So since you started doing the in person and you started sitting down, tell me your favorite interview that you've done since then.
oh, 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 oh. Let me say this before I answer the question because I'm gonna have to think about it. I've done so many. You know what? I think you know what my favorite one was? Big D, Demetrius McCrae. That was my favorite one because I got to go through his home. I had never now, mind you, I had worked with his daughter Deja, and Deja does some things for me with editing and recording shows behind the scenes. And I picked Deja up a lot, but I had never gone into the house. So um he's like just so amazing, but when I was able to set my banners up in his home, in their home, and
Wow.
to be in that home that looks like a museum on the inside, that was my favorite one because I got to see his work. His art is all over the house, and it's like
Wow.
it was amazing to it was like I was really in a museum, and that's their home that they go to every day. But that's my favorite one. That's my favorite one. Having that experience with Demetrius McCrae.
Well, my favorite one is when you was with Josh Brown at the funeral home when he first opened up. So I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's my favorite one. I love that one, and I love the fact that he I've watched Josh grow. So I guess I'm being biased, because I watched him grow up from little Josh to grown man Josh to him calling me saying, Kenya, I'm getting ready to start a transportation business. And I'm like, you better go. The next thing you know, he got a whole full-fledged funeral home. So I think that's why the passion with that one was just so exciting when you announced that you were going to do that one. That's my favorite one thus far. And I love the fact that the thing is, people fail to realize is this is exposure. And when you have two strong women that are out here trying to give you exposure. And one thing I like that you said is not about the money, because we don't make a lot of money doing this. If we did it for the money, we would be out. Let me just talk for me. I can't say for you, but if I did it for the money, I'd have been stopped because the money don't come in the way it should. And trust me, this is, it's not for the money, it's for the exposure. And I sit down and I know that, like you said, I shouldn't be wanting support, but I think that in this industry of what we're doing and what we're giving and the passion and drive that we have, that we shouldn't have to pick the phone up to call anyone. I think that people, small businesses should be called and say, hey, listen, I need some exposure. Whether it's 5 people, I tell people all the time, you can see I got 2 on Facebook. I'm looking over here at YouTube. I got 5 on YouTube. I got on the other phone, I got 6 on Twitter. So what happens is they may not watch it now, but on the replay, when you look back, that is right there. That is 10 people that may have not have known anything about you. That's going to know now that Miss Millionaire does provides exposure like Kenya. So I mean, I think that within our industry, that people we should be overbooked. This is just my opinion. We should be overbooked. We should be saying, hey, I'm booked out for this month. I got 2 people coming in, and we should be running on our gas and everything else. But I think that within the business, like you said, a lot of people are not hungry. They think that their business is just going to come to them like this, and this doesn't work that way. You got to go out there and get it. Customers, it's not going to come to you. You have to go to them. And I think that's what we're lacking in business and business fundamentals. And we wasn't taught that as children. We were taught to go out, get a job, go to college. And what you went to college for, you ain't even working for. You end up with a customer service job making $10 an hour, but you done spent 4 years in college. Unless you go for a doctor or a lawyer. But if you go for anything else, a lot of my friends that went to college, they didn't even do what they went to college for. Right. They were for one thing, but they're now they're school teachers. I'm like, that don't add up. What did you go to school for? So I think that what they're lacking is school. And I don't know if you know Chevy D from Chevy D TV.
I do.
I talk to him a lot, and he's loopy. He crazy. I love Chevy, crazy, but he makes sense. He says, we're having a conversation and sending our kids to college, about sending our kids to college to get in debt, to get a degree, but we never really fall into the things we're doing. We're still in debt. So we come out of college in debt. So we're never going to be debt free because we're going to have to use the money that we're making to pay back the debt that we learned. So I was like, wow, that makes sense. We're never going to be debt free.
Right. And you know what? I'm gonna boldly say this because a lot of people would disagree with me, and I'm not saying it respectfully. College is the biggest joke, and I'm saying that boldly because one, you have to be accepted. It's just like a job. You got to be accepted. It's very costly. If you don't get, you still end up most of the time working for somebody else when you come out, and they don't money management. That's not a part of the curriculum. Wealth management is not a part of the curriculum. They don't teach you the important stuff to becoming debt free, getting financial freedom. How do you do that? Who cares about getting paid something an hour or per year, annually, whatever? If you're not, you can get paid $100,000 a year. If you don't know what to do with your money, you're gonna always be in debt. If you don't know to take a percentage of that and get a good life insurance policy, get $1 million life insurance policy, get the best health insurance. It's a lot of expenses that you have to pay. But if you don't do the right thing with your money, you're never going to become debt free. They teach us to work for other people, but they don't teach us what to do with the money. They don't teach us to buy real estate. They don't teach us to buy the car not the payment, but buy the car and get the title. They don't teach us to really buy a home and purchase the deed, not the mortgage. So we're not being taught that stuff. And that's me. Let me tell you something. I think I'm a deep thinker. I can't stand the term first time home buyer or home buyer, period. You're not buying anything. When you buy something, you have a bill of sale, correct? You have a receipt. So when you buy a home, if you don't have that deed, you haven't bought anything. You bought a mortgage. So they need to change the term for me because that's not a home buyer. You ain't buying nothing. You still don't own it. The finance company owns that. If you didn't go in there and you didn't pay for that home and you don't have that deed, you ain't owning nothing. So I don't even like to play of words with home buyer this and home buyer. Don't teach our kids that because it needs to be mortgage buyer or something. Change, make it what it is. you know. So
That
that
wordplay.
it's a play of words and it's such a joke, man. So now that I know better, when I do become a documented millionaire, boy, am I going to know what to do with my money now because I've taken the time out to feed my mind that kind of stuff. I want to become a real estate investor. I want my money. Now I know to make my money work for me and stop working for it. You know what I'm saying? They teach us that work for the money, chase the check. Go, no, how about teaching me how to make my money grow? What's the right stocks that I purchased at the age of 18 while I'm at McDonald's? What can I purchase right now while I'm at McDonald's flipping burgers when I get my little $200 check? Where can I put $50 in the stock market every time I get paid? So when it comes to the young millionaire in progress level of what I do, boy, do I take that to heart because my young people, I have to teach them what I know now, because they're getting these jobs. Some of them have businesses. Their parents are teaching them the right thing, but the majority of them, wealth management isn't in the schools and the curriculum. So it's up to us to teach these kids what to do with their money. You don't have to be a business owner to become a millionaire. You don't have to be you can become a millionaire with the right job. You maximize the benefits and do your money right. So it's all about. I commend you. Let me tell you something. You get it. One thing I can say about both of us, we own our own media platforms. We own our own production company. It's ours. I'm getting ready to get back in radio. I got a call to come back, not to the same station, but 104.5 The Flame, based out of Port St. Lucie. I'll be getting starting in August. But I'm gonna tell you something I love. I never ever worked for the station while I've been on radio. I was never an employee. It was always me as Miss Milli Productions, which is my LLC. And let me tell you something. Black woman in media like you and I, we own what we do. We make the programming and all that kind of stuff. I commend you so much because you've been in the game for a minute now. I love your interviews. You do a lot of spiritual things with the churches and different things like that, the gospel aspect of things, which is so needed. But our people have to understand the importance of owning more Black media. We've been taught ABC, we've been taught CBS, we've been taught NBC, we've been taught MSNBC. They are white owned. I don't care how you look at it. When you sign a contract, you're signing, it's not Black owned. We need more Black owned media like you and I and lots of other media people that we know that's owning our own content. I'm so sick of seeing Netflix make so much money off of our content. I'm sick of it. So when I started Marky Job TV, that's why. We need a platform that's Black owned, has nothing to do with racism, has absolutely nothing to do with racism, but we gotta own more Black media. So I had to throw that in there before we end this interview. It gets me mad, man.
Yeah, and I get it, and I tell people this all the time. I separated the platform. Everything was done on the Hot Topics pop up show at one point, and I was mixing the. Trust when I tell you, regardless what you want to say, church people really don't want to log into worldly stuff, and the world don't want to log into church people stuff. They don't want to do it. Keeping it real. So what I did was I had to sit down and have a meeting with myself. See, I have meetings all by myself. I get my pen, my paper, my tablet, and I have a meeting. I have a board meeting with myself. How can I make this grow and make it beneficial for both sides of the world? because everybody doesn't want to log in to see a preacher talking about something, as well as everybody doesn't want to log in to see. I have everything. I have bought liquor on here. So maybe they're like, whoa, she got bought liquor. And then they turn up and say, I don't want to log in anymore. So people say you can't make everybody happy. But you know what? In this industry, you got to try a little bit. Because I need that engagement. So I separated it. On Tuesday nights, I do Hot Topic Pop-Up Show. They got their own YouTube. They got their own stuff. They got their own Twitch. They got their own everything. On Thursday nights, y'all come on over to the church people and keeping it real in the gospel. They have their own Twitch, they have their own Twitter, they have their own YouTube. Everybody's happy. We got two different platforms. I can bring who I want to bring over here, and I can bring over here, and I'm able to do both because I understand. So what people fail to realize is that this is so needed. This is so needed, but do they need us? They don't see that they need us. Same thing I told my daughter. My daughter started two businesses before she was 17 years old, and her business plan looked better than mine. And I'm like, can you write me one? She have a business. Seriously, she had a business plan at 15 that looked better than my business plan. I was like, who did this? She was like, me. I was like, whoa. And then she has a secondary business now and then she started a foundation. She called me ruined and she's like, oh, I started this foundation. I was like, what? She read it to me, and I said, "Listen, on church, I call the preacher, I call the pastor immediately and say, listen, I want her to speak on you Sunday about her foundation." So it paid off for me dragging her to all these workshops and things I did because I'm able to see the growth in her. She knows how to write a check. She knows about money. She knows about saving, So it's just that. And again, like she told me the other day, everybody mother is a Kenya C. Willer. So you can't expect that out of everybody child, because she say, well, my friend's this and my friend's that. I'm like, well, she say, well, mom, everybody mama not Kenya C. Willer. And I say, well, you're right, baby. Slow me down, because I tell her that. I tell her about investing. I tell her about saving. And I tell her what she has to do. But everybody, mom, is not that. She have understanding that, listen, you got to sacrifice in this world. And there's a sacrifice we got to have. You made the ultimate sacrifice. You made the ultimate sacrifice. When you said, I'm putting all this in the storage. Hey, I'm going to be uncomfortable for this little while because when I do come up and I'm going to own my own house, I'm going to have my own deed, I'm going to have this, it's going to be mine, my title is mine. That's the ultimate sacrifice. So that's what you did in order to become the millionaire. And I think I partially did what you did. So I think that, tonight it was a lot eye-opening to me to understand that there is some moves in this chess game that I have to do as well in order to be the complete millionaire. Now, my houses are mine. I got two houses. I got the deed, so they mine. But
That,
that's not everybody's story. That's
right.
not everybody. That's not everybody's story. So again, I commend you. Everything that you said today, it's like you kind of spoke directly to Kenya. Like I said, we have a conversation and we don't have an interview. You spoke to me on 101 things that I'm gonna have to go back and listen to write down because again, the education of our young and our youth is so important. And I think that we mostly are so engaged in paying $500 for a wig. That's a whole other show. We
Mm,
can You pay $500 for a wig, and then you pay another $100 and put it on. That's $600.
mm.
When you could have did something else and to put $200 up towards something else. So when you get ready to go buy that $100,000 house, or you found a foreclosure for $60,000, you got it. Add up how many times you bought a wig and paid for the install, and see how much money it is that you done spent on being glam. I don't care about it. I throw these glasses on, some lip gloss, some earrings, and I come on through. But at the end of the
I,
day, hey, you don't Kenya. Everybody be like, you just don't listen. Y'all get into that. Kenya go get into looking out for a rainy day or trying to see what I can invest in because this is my nest egg. These
oh,
lights, these mics, this stuff. I'd rather invest in all of this than invest in me putting $600 on my head and get wet. And I'm just saying. That's a whole other story. And I
yeah,
guess we're on the same page with that.
we are. And you know what? I love the fact that you have your deed to your homes because people, so, so many people got so much money recently between income tax, the stimulus stuff,
PPP.
all kind of money was out there. I see so many people taking so many trips. I pray that they went to Vegas and bought some piece of land somewhere still, you know, which 9 times out of 10, most people didn't. But to me, you got to build a legacy at some point, especially if you have kids. Listen, I'm very transparent. I'm 51 years old, 51. I'll be 52 come kids. Can you let me tell you something? I have never owned a home. Always paid rent. I've never owned a home. I've never did my money right. I got into relationships with people that had kids, trying to help them take care of their kids. Always trying to be that one that was just superwoman. Oh, I can do this. Alicia was never priority. But baby, when I learned how to love me, when I learned how to love me, the game has changed. The game has changed. God first, I'm next, and then I follow his lead. You know, so now I have a totally different outlook on things. And it's like we gotta prioritize better, especially as a people. Money. We have plenty of money in our communities, tons of money in our community. But if you're going to choose a trip to Vegas over buying real estate or buying that life insurance policy, pay your policy up for the year. Get you $1 million policy. Stop paying these little amounts everywhere. Get you $1 million policy. So if something happened to you, your kids are instant millionaires, just like that. Really do put your life on it. You hear people say, well, I put my life on this. Well, put it on that policy. So if something happened to you, your kids, or whoever the beneficiary is, they're instant millionaires. We got to start thinking like that. We weren't taught that. We were taught to get these little policies where we pay $20 a month, $50 a month, or whatever with these small face values. Let's start working on getting $1 million policies because you got to put something in place. So I'm more into what the Miss Millionaire brand is about. It's more about what do we do with the money when we make it? What do we do? We're going to make the money. At some point, we're going to become documented. For those that don't know, what documented means is you can prove that you have the capital, that if you need to provide documentation that you have $1 million to purchase something or whatever, you can do that. I don't have that in areas. You got the paperwork to prove it. So until we get to that point, we got to start making smarter decisions. Man, listen, I get tired of wearing the same clothes all the time. Listen, but that's not my priority right now. You know, long as I have clothes, I got clean clothes. I might buy a little something here and there, but that's not my priority right now. I have a niece who starts high school. When school starts again, she'll be out of high school in 4 years. Auntie needs to be able to have something in place for her that's worth $1 million or something where we don't need to go to the car lot and get you a payment. No, let's me and mommy go buy this car for you with the title. Let's get this condo for you. Better yet, let's get a home for you that's paid for. So it's not even about me no more. You know what I mean? It's about I have a niece and 2 nephews, and we failed them. So we got one more left. You know what I'm saying? So I got to make sure baby girl is straight. So really, a lot that I do, my parents are still living. You know, it's not about me anymore. It's about what can I do. They didn't teach me because they didn't know. My parents, they didn't know what to teach them, so therefore they didn't know what to teach us. So it's like I gotta do this for the legacy that I'm building, and do it for that. It's not even about me anymore, man. So that's why this is so easy for me to do, because when it was about me, I didn't do my money right. You know what I'm saying? So I just, man, for having me to even discuss. I couldn't wait till this interview happened because I know you and I are here. We are on the same
Right.
page so much,
Exactly.
and it's like we got the same kind of platform. Uh, I love your band. When you got that band rap, who did I come to and say who rapped your band? That song,
Yes.
he
Well,
rap.
she's going back in again too. because we changed the name of the business. It's no longer the name. We had to change the name, and so now it's KCW Multimedia Group because the name was acquired years and years ago, um, and we ran into some difficulties with the name. So by the name, not forcefully, but it was a a decision to change it. So now it's KCW Multimedia Group. Can't nobody take that from me because it's Kenya C. Wheeler. So
Ooh,
we just
love
so what happens is when everything happened with that, I'm not gonna bore you long with this, but when everything happened with that, I got emotional. I'm like, oh my God, I built this business for 20 years and the name is mine and da 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 da. You know what? A lot of times in life, um, it's you have to make changes. Change is good, and I had to learn that. And I said, well, you know what? And I talked to God, and I went to the beach, and I said, Lord, I worked so hard for this brand. You know, why am I going through this? And He completely said to me just like this: change is good. Get something of your own. And
it.
I had to learn from everything that I learned from with people taking things from me. And I say one thing you can never take from me, because from the cradle to the grave, from the cradle to the grave, I'm gonna be Kenya C. Wheeler. You understand? To the cradle to the grave. I know I'm married now, and I know that but from the cradle to the grave, I'm still gonna be Kenya C. Wheeler because that's what's gonna be on my birth certificate. Not my. That's gonna be on my birth certificate because they ask you what is your maiden name. Kenya C. Wheeler. So what I did was I changed my business name to KCW Multimedia Group. What happens is it incorporates everything into that, and you know things happen, but it's better off now because it's me. It's just me.
It's all you.
So it's all me. It's Kenya C. Wheeler.
That you
It's
own it.
it.
Own it. That's it.
And everybody's like, well, why didn't you put your new last name? No, it's Kenya C. Wheeler, cradle to the grave. If anything was to ever happen, Kenya C. Wheeler is going to own to entities of everything, and no one else is. It was given to me by God, and that's what we did. So in May, I shut my business down completely for a month and brought it back up. I mean, it was an emotional show. And I had to cut it off because at the end I started crying, and I didn't want nobody to see because I wanted to be a big girl. And we basically we aired some things out. There was a lot of things that transpired throughout the years that people I will always never defend myself to anything. People would say and do things, I would just let it just go. And what I did was I took 1 hour and about 20 minutes of that night and went line by line the things that people did to me. Everything. I told the story about everything that people said, did, things I avoided. People say I did this, everything. If you go back to that show from the beginning to the end, I told the story about everything. I told the story when the man lied and said I ain't paid. I told the story about everybody. Now I didn't call names because that's doxing. And I don't want to go get in trouble for doxing. But I did tell people what happened. And a lot of people tuned into that show. They're like, oh, that's what happened. Oh, that. So I never told my side of the story to a lot of things. And at the end of that show, say, I wanted to say this, to say that. Say that we're leaving GT Promotions over there and we're starting anew. So everybody who did this to me, I forgive y'all. I ain't mad at y'all no more. Y'all did this to me. Y'all hurt me. Y'all lied on me, but I forgive y'all because we got a new slate. Now let's move on and let's grow this new business and this new brand. So that's what it was. You know what I mean? So, God's willing, hopefully, my cousin is very busy now. If you can see, he's always got trucks here. So I can't get in there until August for a new route. And I'm his cousin. I'm like, wait a minute now, because before me, I used to be at this. I'm like, what happened? I drove around with a van, and now you big and busy. But I respect this. I love your car. I was like, when I see yours, I was like, wait a minute now, you made hers better than mine. So he was laughing about that. So we both feel the same way about our vehicles. And again, I just want to say I appreciate you for coming on. We gotta do one in person. We're gonna do one in person, and we're gonna run
Yeah.
it simultaneously.
I
We, we,
on next. I got to bring you. We're gonna bring together. We're gonna come together in person.
And we're gonna do it simultaneously, and I'm gonna run yours at the same time you run mine. We're gonna run it together,
Yeah.
and we're gonna shock the world. We're gonna run two shows. It's gonna be two shows two shows, two hosts. We're gonna do it together and we're gonna shock the world so that we can interview each other. Boom, boom, boom.
Because I know we on the same page. That's why, like you said this was complicated. Oh, Nikisha Freeman, what's up? I see she watching. What's up, classy one? But yeah, we, I don't know. Whenever we talk, we all
Right.
you and I met. We were on a panel, right? We was on. I think you and I, or was it Steve? In Riviera Beach City Hall, where I think you and I
Yeah.
met for the first time. We were,
Ty had us on the panel.
yeah, and that was like I'm Miss Kenya, the CEO, and I'm gonna tell you something. I must tell you, thank you for this interview. The only one, I ain't gonna say the only one. A lot of people that here is like for when I'm gonna get interviewed or something that's happened to me. Boy, did you do it right. It was like you put people don't understand how the name that you use that's not your legal name is important to be on everything you market. You want Miss Kenya, the CEO, on everything you market. That. So you had Miss Milli Productions LLC on there. You had Alicia, Miss Millionaire Jane. So thank you so much for making it the right way. Because a lot of people, I don't say anything because I'm not like petty like that. But a lot of times I'm billionaire on there because that's the brand that I'm known for. So don't just put Alicia James. Please put I'd rather have Miss Millionaire. If you're gonna choose one, put Miss Millionaire. But you did both, and that was like excellent. So I really thank you so much for the way you
Thank you.
the flyer. I'm very articulate, and I look at small things as well. So thank you.
Well, you know I don't answer to nothing, but you can call me Kenya Will. I won't answer to it. Like last night, I did an interview. They kept calling me Kenya Will, and I kept doing like this to them. And I said, "My name is Kenya C. No, I will check you up. No matter. I done been in church, and they call me Kenya Willer, and I say, my name is Kenya C. Willer because that is my brand. My brand is Kenya C. Willer. I am Miss Kenya, the CEO. So I get it. That's why you have to put it the way I want it to be put, and in the headlines and in the topics and the titles. So yes, I know. I don't answer to Kenya Willer. My sister sent me a package in the mail. Who is this? Who is that? And I mean that with everything I love. I am not. Listen, that Kenya Willer used to be a thug. She'll fight you. Y'all leave Kenya with shit. Kenya will swing on you. Kenya say, meet me outside. You leave her with shit. Let me be Kenya C. Willer, the CEO. So I understand, and again, I just want to thank you. See, the thing is with us, we'll talk forever because we have so much in common. We'll be here till tomorrow.
I
So
know.
this one of them shows we got to go to YouTube and just like really like engage. I'll just go on a Saturday afternoon and just like let people come in and ask questions because that's who you are. When you put two radio people together with a mic, it'll last forever. So somebody gonna have to end it because if not, we're gonna be here till 10 o'clock just going on and on and on. But I do want to come on your platform. Let me know. I'll drive to Palm Beach. I have no problem with that. I have got married and semi relocated to Fort Lauderdale. Semi relocated. I do both. Delray and Fort Lauderdale. So I have no problem, and I would love to hang out with you with your big old poster because that's a big old poster. That's like 10 feet tall. Like who is that? That's like if you have a real tall person, you still can't. Yeah, that's cute. Though. I like that. But I want to
I
thank you
love
so much
love
for coming on and hanging
thank you
out with
for
me. Give my love to the pastor.
will do. And
And
new union with hubby. Congrats, congrats, congrats.
yes, it's all new for me. I haven't lived in. You know how you don't live with a person in like 20 years, so it's like all new. It's been over
Right,
20 years
right,
since you lived with
right.
someone. So this is all new. Again, it's a whole other conversation. We ain't gonna start a new conversation. Thank you for the call. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because we'll be here till tomorrow. We'll just be
I
talking
know.
like we're on FaceTime. This too comfortable for us. We just like, we're girl, hey, yeah, yeah. So this is
Yeah.
FaceTime for us. So we're gonna end it. Listen, I'm gonna say to you, I'm gonna bid you farewell because I'm starting to get back into the gym. I'm trying to get little bit of this weight off myself. Commend you and get in the gym. I love to watch y'all on in the mornings. I'm up at 5 o'clock watching y'all. I got y'all back. I'm watching y'all throwing the ball and doing the ropes. I got you. Keep up the good work. And any last words you want to say before you leave us?
I want to say to anybody watching, anything you do in life, whether you're a millionaire or people, always give back. That is how you get blessed the most. Everything I do is about helping people. It's not about me. It's about helping other people. Because the more that I do that, the more God is going to elevate me. And I
Yes.
always say this is the last thing I'm going to say. How I close out every show, and you know how I do. I want to say from one millionaire to another. I will see each and every one of you. Miss Kenya, the CEO, I know I'm going to see her. I will see each and every one of you where? At the
Oh, she flows up on.
I love it. Thank you for having me, Kenya. I really have enjoyed this interview.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And good night. I'll see you at the top because ain't no room at the bottom. Good night. Listen, me and Miss Millie have talked forever, y'all. So I just wanted to stop the conversation because she is black. I love her. When I tell you I love her and I love the way she runs her brand and everything that she's doing. So listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning in on the live and on the replay. But listen here, let me tell y'all this. I don't know if y'all will see me Thursday. If y'all see me Thursday, Lord willing, y'all will see me. If not, then I'm taking a break. But I want to thank y'all for tuning in. We did not do breakfast on me this week today, but I will do lunch on me next week. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, you guys remember to follow Miss Millie on her platform. Remember to follow Miss Millionaire on her platform. She does the Miss Millionaire show. She does a pop up like myself. So again, follow her. I gotta go. I'm out. Y'all have a good night. Again, I don't know if I'm gonna see y'all Thursday, but if I don't, I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. And if I do, I'll see y'all. I'm out.